Hey, so tomorrow I'm off to Copenhagen. I bought myself some plane tickets rather impulsively. I guess you could call this some kind of quarter-life crisis. But before I went, I wanted to put up a video and I wasn't sure what to film, so I thought I would just talk about some various books. So this is a compilation of a haul, a TBR, a currently reading, a wrap-up. It's just going to be me rambling about some books. So to start off with a bit of a book haul, I haven't done one of these in ages, I thought I'd show you some of the books I got for Christmas, because I got a couple of cool ones and I never had a chance to show them. So first of all, I'm very excited about this one. This is The Force Doth Awaken, and if you've never heard of this series before, it's basically someone who's taken all the Star Wars books and written the script, or rewritten the script in Shakespearean format. I'm highly anticipating reading this because, you know, it's Star Wars and Shakespeare, what could go wrong? I also got a graphic novel called Conville Force Majeure, which is a crime book, a detective story with animals as the main characters, so very excited for this. And finally, from my Christmas haul a few months late, I got the illustrated copy of Prisoner of Azkaban! Exciting! So obviously these are absolutely stunning. It's been a while since I've done a proper reread of Harry Potter, and now I've got the first 3 volumes in illustrated, and I don't think I've actually read the Chamber of Secrets yet in the illustrated version, so I might have to do a bit of a binge, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have that one added to my bookshelf. I requested a review copy of Spare and Found Parts by Sarah Maria Griffin because the plot sounded really unique and something I would enjoy. So what this seems to be about is a city which has had this big epidemic come over them, which has left people missing certain limbs, and the book starts from a point where people have been getting limb transplants or like biochemical replacements. I got kind of steampunk vibes from the description, and that's a genre which I also really enjoy, so I am very much looking forward to reading this. To end this haul segment, I just got this in the post today. It is Wizards and Robots by will.i.am and Brian David Johnson. will.i.am as in the Black Eyed Peas, will.i.am as in that guy. Penguin contacted me and asked me if I wanted to make a video about this book, and I saw who it was by and I was like, I'm so intrigued. So you can expect a video all about this book coming up when I've actually finished it. I started it today and I'm a couple of chapters in, and yeah, I'm very curious to see what will.i.am's writing capabilities are like. Before I get onto the books that I'm currently reading, I just wanted to briefly mention one which I just finished. It's been a while since I've actually finished a book just because I've been ridiculously busy, but I finished 9 Stories by J.D. Salinger, and I know I mentioned this in my last video, but now I've actually finished all 9 of the stories. And this collection of short stories is so good. I can't recommend it enough, and I know it's not maybe something you typically reach for because it definitely isn't something that I would have gravitated towards normally, but I'm so glad I did. So these are 9 short stories which all centre around very particular and peculiar characters. There's always a lot of ambiguity with regards to the ending, and sometimes you are left feeling like you don't really know what's just happened or what is implied by the ending. The writing, in my opinion, was fantastic, and if you ever feel like giving a short story a go, I'd suggest this collection. So finally, onto some books that I'm currently reading. I'm still reading Feast of Fates by Christian Brown. A review is coming, I promise. I keep saying I will finish this, but I will actually do it. I just haven't had much time for reading, but I've literally got maybe 5 chapters left. This is an epic high fantasy set in this world where there's fairies and magic and all of that stuff. It gives me quite strong ACOTAR vibes, but in a good way, and it's about a man who can turn into a certain animal, and a love story, and some fairy politics, which I always really enjoy, a lot of kingdom stuff, and it's overall a really fun ride. I will write up a review as soon as I'm done and talk about it some more when I've actually finished it, but for now I'd highly recommend this one. I'm also still reading The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I know this is another one that I've said I've been reading for ages, I just haven't had much time for reading recently, but this one is fantastic. So in case you didn't know what it's about, it is about a man who is very narcissistic, very vain, and he gets this portrait painted of him, and he says something like, I wish I never grew up and the portrait could grow up instead of me, so I never age. And lo and behold, that happens. So it's kind of got a sci-fi element, I guess, but the reason this book is great is because the writing is beautiful. Like, Oscar Wilde's writing is so good. I've only ever read his collection of short stories, so like The Happy Prince, The Happy Prince? The Cruel The Happy Prince. and that collection is fantastic. But I'm more familiar with his writing from the films I've watched, which I guess is like kind of cheating. I've watched quite a lot of the film adaptations of his plays. My favourite of all time is An Ideal Husband. I will read the play eventually. An Ideal Husband starring Rupert Everett and Minnie Driver and Kate Blanchett and some other famous people. It's literally one of my favourite films of all time. So good. And also, what's it called? The Importance of Being Earnest. I will get around to reading the scripts of those, but watch the films. They're so good. Anyway, The Picture of Dorian Gray is by far the darkest story of his I've experienced, I think. It's taken me a bit longer to get through because it is written in quite a dense, language-heavy style, but I definitely would say it's worth powering through because it's a fantastic story, and Oscar Wilde obviously is an immensely talented writer. Finally, a book I just started this morning is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. This has been lying on my bookshelf for many a year and I'm so glad I finally picked it up. I'm only a few chapters in, but I absolutely love it. So from what I've gathered so far, it's about a girl who lives in Prague and she leads two lives. On one hand, she's just an art student living her life, dealing with everyday mishaps, and then on the other hand, she is this errand girl for this demon beast kind of guy. Haven't figured it out yet, but it's really good. And also I absolutely love the setting of Prague. I visited it this summer and I just fell in love with the city. So I'll keep you updated on my progress of this one. Those are just some of the books that I felt like talking about. I hope you enjoyed, and if you've been reading anything good recently, or if you've read anything good or bought anything good, let me know, and I guess I'll see you in my next one, whenever that is. Who knows? Bye!